Welcome to this video. So this is going to be a nice little intro video to our PE3 Edgebander. I've been looking forward to doing this one for some time now, because this is going to suit a lot of workshops that are going to have not a lot of space but want all the functions of a top-end Edgebander. You can probably see in the background we've got some real Pro series Edgebanders as well, but this is going to be for the smaller workshops where the speed and the throughput isn't quite as important, but obviously the quality still is. So instead of me reeling off all the functions, let's have a quick look around. This is our operator interface. So we've got all the usual operations that we can do that I've discussed in the back of the machine, turning the track on, the spray units. You won't always have the sprays on depending what it is. You might be using a natural wood edging, for example, the preheat light. You can set up as well. We have programs that we can store in here, so when we press that, it turns them all on, so that's really handy. Another one for veneer. So yeah, it's a really easy to use control panel and makes the whole experience of running the machine nice and simple. When we start at this end of the machine, we've got a 4-roller media tray, we have an air blower, and we also have the pre-mill adjustment, so we can adjust how much that we pre-mill off the panel. Obviously the same as the thickness of the edge banding, so it's set to 0.8. We've got 0.8 in the machine as well. So if we start around the front side, so obviously we've got an infeed table, and then we've got a roller system. We have some screws underneath here to tighten and lock off the support beam, so we can pull the support beam out. 400mm extraction ports on the PE3, and on this one, so we've got a catcher for the shavings from the radius scraping, so that makes sure that you don't create a whole lot of birds' nests in your dust extraction system. We've got sprays at both ends, so we'll have a spray release at the front end before pre-milling and a spray cleaning at the end before buffing. You can just see the buffing wheels through there. Another e-stop, the power on at this end, and then we have the covers, and we'll open this up in just a sec and take a look in. But yeah, it's about 3.6 meters from the end, from here to the other end of the machine, so you can get this into quite a tight space, especially considering it's got all the functions of an Edgebander, including corner rounding, pre-milling, buffing that you've just seen there. But let's get the cover open, have a look, and we can have a good look under the hood of the PE3. Okay, so I've opened her up, got both covers open. Let's take a look. But if we start at this end, which is the logical end, the infeed end, we can have a quick look what's going on. So we've also got our sprayers. This is our spray adjustment. We have them top and bottom of the panel. So that's the release agent. So what that does, before it gets pre-milled off the glued face, it sprays some fluid on the top and bottom of the panel. So if any glue does squidge out of the top and bottom when the glue's applied, it's easier to be cleaned off later on downstream. But yeah, we've got two pre-milling cutters, obviously one spinning one way, one spinning the other way. If you're new to Edgebanders, basically what this does, it prevents panel breakout, which is why one spins one way. It comes off the material, and then at the last minute it comes in and cleans up, and it's spinning the other way to stop the breakout actually happening. The other reason that's really good for pre-milling, one of the main reasons, is that you may have 2mm edging on here. We machine 2mm off so that the panel dimensions don't change at all. And then another reason for the pre-milling is obviously to give a really nice square clean edge before the banding is actually applied. So as we move along down through the machine, here's our removable glue pot, Teflon coated glue pot. We've got glue in chamber in the reservoir at the minute, and we've got our edge banding coming in here. Oh, one of the things I missed on this side is we've got infrared heat lamp as well. So again, quite unusual to see on one of these small compact machines, but that will heat the edge of the pre-milled face so the glue doesn't cure off too quickly as it comes through the glue roller. So yeah, so we've got the glue pot. As I say, I'll show you the a spare glue plot. You might have a dark colour in one and a light colour in the other. But very handy function. It's also, you know, cleaning glue pots take time, so you can take one out of the machine, put another one in there, and you're back up and running really quickly. Here we have the infeed roller for the tape, and then the guillotines. So that's the guillotine, it will slice the edging off. Then we come into the corner rounding, the end trimming. So we've got a single motor end trimming, and it does both ends of the panels, obviously. 2 saw blades on there. Then we come into the fine trimming, and you can see that the gauge here for the top motor is set to the 0.8 as well, and the gauge on the bottom one is set to the 0.8 too. So then that's the fine trimming. So that mills the radius onto the edging as it comes through. Then we have our corner rounding. Okay, so you would obviously edge band 2 sides first, 2 opposing sides, and then turn the corner rounding on and do the 3rd and the 4th side, so it rounds the corners and leaves a nice radius on the corners. Again, downstream from that, we've got 0.8 and 0.8. I always set them back slightly from the full 0.8. It's just habit more than anything else. But that's the radius scrapers. Okay, so that will really tidy up the nice radius on top of the part. One thing we could see in here as well, if I get the camera in, you can see that this has got a nesting function on it. So the tracer wheels on the bottom unit will avoid things like 35mm hinge holes. Then we have the spray cleaning fluid just before the flat scraping in the ideal place. And these flat scrapers that we spec on this machine are really nice. So you've got a blower here that tries to make sure that any of the tails come off before it goes out in the machine. But they ride the surface of the material here, which is nice. So you know, it's done edge banding on like heavily textured material. You can see if you set the flat scrapers too low, then they can take the high spots off on very heavily textured materials. So these flat scrapers work a lot better than the standard 4-way insert type. And finally, as we go through the machine here, we go through the buffing. So see, we've got some of the cleaning fluid still on the top of the board, and that helps buff the nicely profiled edge to give it as good a finish as possible.